How climate change is hitting vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers. Nearly 93% of respondents saw decreased income during the rainy season. How climate change is hitting vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. The world doesn't make any damn sense to me. Climate change is really hitting those vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers hard. It's a difficult time. It's a very difficult time. Let's see. Jay Nelson says, clearly Canadians haven't been paying enough carbon taxes. If only we paid more, we could have made life so much easier for those vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers. Now, apparently, just had to check to make certain this was a real story. It is. No comment needed. Okay, let's check it out. It really is a story. Life is getting so strange, isn't it? How climate change is hitting vulnerable Indonesian sex trans workers. I don't know. I guess Greta was right, huh? We better tear down civilization. I don't know. What do you even do about this? More neo-pronouns, I guess? Would that help? They keep telling us about how important they are and how they help everything. Where are we? Okay, so Joya Patia, a 43-year-old Indonesian transgender woman, first started to notice that changing weather patterns in the mountain-ringed city of Bandung were affecting her income as a sex worker a decade ago. The rainy season was lasting longer across the West Java province. Winds were stronger, and in some particularly bad years, Patia lost up to 80% of her earnings. So it is hitting vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers, apparently. Like, what about the rest of the sex workers? Like, they have to be kind of like they're not all trans, like the sex workers, right? What about the rest of them? Why do they just ignore the rest of them? That's what I want to know. Trans women like Patiha are among the most affected by extreme weather linked to climate change, as well as suffering disproportionately when disasters strike. Do they expect us to take this seriously? Rogue Thought says, how does weather know their identity? I don't know. It seems like a good question to ask. Let's see. No one is coming out during the longer rainy season. It is very hard to make money during that unpredictable weather. I guess they're trying to scare us about climate change again. It just feels like this is a bit of a miss to me. Indonesia is particularly vulnerable to the effects of climate change, and trans women, who tend to face more stigma and marginalization than trans men or other LGBTQ plus Indonesians, are also among those hardest hit by extreme weather. That's because many trans women, like Patiha, are shut out of the formal economy and survive as buskers and sex workers, occupations that rely on them being able to solicit clients outdoor. Okay, I don't know. Okay, you win. We have to tear down civilization. Let's all go live in caves again. I'm going to dig a hole in the ground. I'm going to walk into the woods. I'm going to drive off into the mountains. Then I'm just going to walk off into the mountains, and I'm going to dig a hole, and I'm going to go live in it. No electricity. I'll just leave my car. Nothing. Now we have to save the planet. We have to save the Indonesian vulnerable trans sex workers. It feels like maybe they got bigger problems than global warming. I don't know. It feels like maybe. I'm just not really buying this. I understand they have to. There's somebody who, there are these writers who have to just keep writing things to scare us about climate change constantly all day long. That's all they can do, right? They just have to be constantly, they're paid to just constantly try and fearmonger about climate change all the time. And they've got to keep coming up with new things. I just feel like this is a miss. That's all I'm saying. I don't have any ill will towards the Indonesian trans sex workers. I hope that they get, I hope things work out for them. I'll just say that. But I'm not going to change anything.